Thank you very much. I offer my sincere thanks to the Historical Society and to the McWilliams Book Awards Committee, the latter ably chaired by Christian Cassidy, for selecting Fire, Folly and Fiasco, my first book, for this prestigious award. I'm extremely grateful, and I feel very fortunate given the strength of the other submissions. I also gratefully acknowledge my wife, Sheila Jones, who, as editor, helped me shape the book into a flowing narrative from my years of research and interview notes. And my layout and design guru, Dr. Gordon Goldsboro, made the book visually appealing and professional looking. My sincerest thanks to both. Further, I acknowledge the custodians of all of the library and archival resources that I used. They're anonymous here, but they are named in the book. I've been connected with museums since 1968. After 23 years as curator of Ice Age fossils at the Royal Alberta Museum in Edmonton, I retired to Winnipeg. On visits to the Manitoba Museum, I was permitted to browse the Ice Age fossil collections, and I soon wanted to know more about the place and the people of the time. That was the germ of the book, and I was encouraged by the fact that there had not been any comprehensive history of the museum to that time. The pivotal story concerns the Chicago World's Fair of 1893. Manitoba entered the fray at the last minute. Manitoba's livestock and commercial products won many prizes in competition. The museum-like exhibition hall, mounted by the stripling 23-year-old province, constituted a tremendous showing against global competition. The exhibition contained an enviable array of museum-quality natural history specimens, alongside artifacts of Indigenous and pioneer provenience. It was coveted by the World's Fair officials and even the Smithsonian Institution in Washington. Premier Greenway ordered that half the Agriculture and Immigration Department's budget be spent on Manitoba's effort. That was a whopping $86,000, perhaps a prince's ransom, if not a king's, in those days, in attempts to draw settlers and businesses to the sparsely populated province. But the expense was Greenway's Achilles heel, his albatross. Simply put, the World's Fair was a financial disaster for Manitoba. The purpose-built Manitoba Hotel lost a huge sum of money. And so to deflect criticism, Greenway promised to build a provincial museum in Winnipeg for the returning collections, but he never made good on his promise. The collections were lodged temporarily in the new state-of-the-art, fireproof Mulvey Public School, erected that same year, 1893. On the 9th of April, 1895, not 2 years later, the school burned to ashes, taking the provincial collections with it. It took another 37 years to establish a permanent provincial museum space in the Winnipeg Civic Auditorium, but even then, it was a city-operated museum, not provincial. The wonderful Manitoba Museum of Man and Nature on Main Street that succeeded the Auditorium Museum was opened by the Queen in July 1970. Finally, Manitoba had a permanent provincial museum. It was not completed yet. Heck, the nonsuch hadn't even arrived in Winnipeg. But alas, the Queen's carriage was waiting. The Manitoba Museum on Main celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2020. The book is a celebration of its 100-year prehistory, but COVID. I expect others will in time record the history of the Manitoba Museum's first half century. My sincere thanks again for this signal honor.